Duke 86, Notre Dame 78. Obviously, that score in itself is not the biggest story here. The biggest story of this game is, folks, Cooper Flagg is here to stay. He has officially reached his ceiling. So I want to ask, what does this mean for the rest of college basketball? Well, the last games, 5 games for Cooper Flagg, man. 24 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 64% from 2, and 59 from 3, 87 from the line, 8 free throws a game. He's been unstoppable, folks. Duke's beating their opponents by 23 points per game these last 5 games. Duke won by 8, which is a little bit closer than you'd think against Notre Dame. Never for a second did anybody think Notre Dame was actually going to win this game. I'm going to say that. It's one of those. Duke got from Notre Dame what I call an outlier game. What is that? Well, an outlier game is when a team is just red hot. It's their day. And this happens, especially in college basketball, where you shoot 15 to 20% more than your actual percentage from 3. Notre Dame shot 58% from 3. It was their day. And the fact that no one ever really thought they were going to win the entire game, pretty impressive if you think about it like that. Now, March Madness is interesting. It's very interesting because with all the Cinderellas and all of the chaos towards the end, the most talented top-end teams always prevail. Interesting fact for you. This is highly undercovered in college basketball media. Every single national champion ever has had a first-round pick in the NBA draft. Every single one, ever. So with all the Cinderellas, in the end, the most talented teams always prevail. So, in other words, you need NBA talent to win in March. You absolutely do. There's no question about it. Well, Duke, this team has 4 possible first-rounders, 3, probably 4. And everyone in the offseason couldn't stop talking about what Duke's offense could be. But I looked at this team and said, wow, this defensive potential is off the charts. John Shire's got something here. Their average height is 6'8". That's the highest in all of Division I. This team is built like an NBA team. And when you have Cooper Flagg and Common Malawak, my goodness. I mean, that's in itself an amazing defensive team. So the defense is always going to be elite, just solely because of the length. The offense started out fairly raw in the season. I mean, against Kentucky, they shot 39% from the field and 17 from 3. Against Kansas, they had 17 assists and 16 turnovers. This is what these really uber-talented teams do, right? Is they start out a little bit dysfunctional on the offensive side of the ball because they still haven't quite learned to gel yet, but then eventually March rolls around and you're like, holy crap, this is a near NBA team that I'm watching. Now, in terms of the team itself, I want to say this. This high pick and roll with Khan dribbling the ball, Cooper Flagg either rolling or popping, and Malawak at the dunker spot, it's pretty unstoppable. It's really unstoppable, as a matter of fact. And Shire has really figured out how to use some of these guys. Malawak and the dunker spot. I mean, the last games for Common, 11 points per game, 8 rebounds, 83% shooting, 91% from 2. He's also shooting 75% from the line. He's figured out how to use him in the dunker spot. And it's crazy about this Duke team, how flexible and versatile all these players are. A lot of these guys can play pretty much anywhere. Remember last year, Tyrese Proctor was like the primary ball handler, and he's capable of being that. Now he's become a spot-up shooter with Cooper Flagg now as pretty much the primary ball handler, and he's shooting 42% from 3. And Khan, in terms of him becoming the primary ball handler, near 3-1 assist-turnover ratio, man. So usually a lot of these teams in college hoops have like one Swiss Army knife. I can even throw Zion James in there, 58% from 2 and 38% from 3. He's an awesome on-ball defender. Shire did a great job with that transfer addition. This Duke team is like 7, 8 Swiss Army knives. These guys can play any role at anywhere, and they've bought in. Like Proctor, you're going to say, hey, you're no longer going to be the primary ball handler. You're going to be spotting up from 3. And he's like, you know what? I'll do that. Bam, 42% from 3 with Cooper Flagg there. I mean, so what does this mean for the rest of college basketball? It's to say, look out. Because if you get this Cooper Flagg for the rest of the season, which I have a pretty good feeling that you will, Duke's going to win. And nobody can beat this team. Duke's been my national championship favorite since the preseason. It hasn't changed. I'm not budging on this. You're not beating this team if you get this Cooper Flagg. And what's so interesting is the defensive potential has been tapped. It's there. With that type of length and that type of shot blocking, you have guys who are just long who can guard 1 through 5. I mean, Duke's shortest starter is 6'6". It's really hard to make good passes against that type of length. But the offense has been waiting to be untapped. And these last 5 games for Cooper Flagg, it looks like we're getting that. Rest of college basketball, look out, man. Look out, because Duke is coming.